Today's episode is brought to you by Bark Technologies. With parental control monitoring apps in the new Bark phone, Bark is the best comprehensive parental control tool for families. Listen to today's episode for more details. Hey everybody, welcome to Don't Make Me Come Back There. We are a funny podcast about family. My name is Dustin Nickerson. I'm a stand-up comedian and the host of the aforementioned podcast.
Longer and longer.
And alongside me, in a cool shirt that I complimented because I liked it, and apparently I picked it out, so it's kind of a self-compliment, is Fly Girl, Melissa Nickerson,
Hey
co-host of the pod, overall great gal. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Backseaters, keep it down back there. We got a lot to get to. Thanks for tuning in to our little podcast that could. Oh, do you have some reviews to read?
I do.
You guys have been,
Yeah.
Mel asked you guys to do some pod reviews on the Spotify.
Came through.
On the Apple podcast, whatever it's called there. On Napster, if you guys are doing the Napster pod.
Pinterest.
Where did you fall in the Napster debate?
Ooh, good. Oh, that's a great conversation.
Yeah.
Pro Napster.
Pro Napster.
Yeah, necessary means to an end.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so do you remember, we'll get to those in a second.
I remember
the
what
Napster
Napster
debate,
is.
and
Yeah.
the most vocal musicians against Napster was Metallica.
Lars specifically.
Lars specifically. I don't and the debate was the music's free. Why this is now Napster did go under, and you kind of met what was not a happy medium, but Spotify, which was the cheapest way, or Pandora before that, the cheapest way possible to get all this music. And the debate was music should be free anyways. I remember Dave Grohl saying that specifically, and he was kind of like, those guys are each worth like $40 million. Why they are not the ones to talk about this. Music should be available like it is on the radio. You know, you should be able to, music should be accessible to the people. And then Metallica saying like, this is just costing artists and musicians money. And so you're pro Napster on it.
I am, because
Is that a good summary of the debate?
I guess.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, technologically, like, I think it was a necessary tool for a lot of things. It opened up file sharing. It opened up peer-to-peer content. Like, it opened up a lot more than just music, because it was like really at the beginning of tech in so many ways. I definitely wish that musicians should be paid more by Spotify, period. Absolutely.
Right.
But but it's like there was just these necessary things, and a lot of it's education. I don't know. Like, I do want musicians to be paid for their artistry 100%. I just also am like, but Napster was a necessary means for kind of breaking the music industry system. And that's what was a problem, is the big label system that existed. Right. Napster helped to crack that big capitalist system down.
Yeah.
That's what I'm for as a tool for that, not so much the byproduct of affecting, and it's only affecting the largest musicians.
Right.
That's the thing.
Right.
So to Dave Grohl's point, yes.
Yeah. It's I don't have a take on it, because Spotify is so anti-artist and so pro-consumer, but ultimately, like, that's like to their bottom line. That's ultimately to Spotify's gain. And so at the end of the day, it's a corporation pinning an artist between the consumer. Yeah. Which it's like Ticketmaster. It's the same thing. So it's kind of like I don't know. It's real Sophie's choice here. It's both are bad systems. Yep. And the previous system was real bad too. Anyway, speaking of the man, I got to go pay my parking. I already did.
Oh.
Speaking of corrupt institutions.
La Mesa Parking.
La Mesa Parking. Goodness gracious.
That guy hates me. Or gal, whatever. I got some reviews.
Hit me.
I got some reviews here. 5 stars because I can't give it 10.
Boom.
Dame Pete here. Awesome, clean family fun every week. Great podcast with a super funny comedian. Come for the podcast, stay for the live shows. Find out when Dustin is coming to your city.
Oh my, hello.
And go see him. It's a fun night, and he signed my book afterwards too. Enjoy the podcast.
That's nice. That's a good one.
So
hit me with one more.
Fantastic. Here we go. Finally did it. Melissa said it didn't have to be funny. 5 stars. Yeah. Would you stop? Stop.
Sorry, you just got leg skin out. It's
Stop.
distracting. It's distracting to me.
Stop it, Dustin. Are you
What?
serious?
You've got leg skin out.
Okay.
How come I...
Did you want me to read these?
Yes. One more.
I can't read these.
I'll stare down.
DJ Hammock 32. It's official. 5 stars. I am taking my relationship with this podcast to the next level and going public. Don't make me come back there. And I have been together for the better part of the last year. I have loved every minute of our time together, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for us. Dustin and Mel, you are the podcast to my grocery run, the essential oils to my basic white mom, and the front seaters to this beyond grateful backseater. Cheers to us.
Thanks. Cheers.
Woo.
As we sit above Public Square Coffee in downtown La Mesa. That's
Very well done.
well done.
Yeah. Thank you for the reviews.
We have a lot to get into today. We're going to talk about hopping over our neighbor's fence, 9 hours of watching volleyball, the when in life as an adult, you should sprint, babies on planes, overshares, some just airline pet peeves, the grief and painstaking hurt of your child growing up, being too old for a trampoline, some trends that are back from our youth, shoes on, shoes off in the house, and a bingo dingo review from Melissa on seeing Lizzo.
That's right. All right. What an episode.
What an episode. We'll get to none of it. Well, let's start here.
Let's just deviate again.
Something special got to happen a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And it's really something that as a male, I've been waiting for my whole life. And that someone required me to hop a fence. A dream. A dream come true. So our neighbor.
Yes. So you were in the shower. I think we had worked out, and she texted me. She's like, "Hey, I know you don't have my spare keys because I gave them to the dog sitter.
Yes.
But I'm locked out of my house." And we're like, "Okay." She's like, "Just open your gate. I'm going to go through your backyard into my backyard."
Right.
Because my back door is open.
There's no gate between our yards, though. So
no, I shouldn't say gate. I should say fence.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So her plan was to go into our backyard and hop the fence. Now, it's a tall fence, and it's not chain link fence, so there's no natural footing. It's a classic fence. It's a classic
some old wood.
Wood, exactly. And the beams. I know nothing about stuff, but the little crossbars that you would put your feet on when you're climbing a fence are on her side.
She doesn't have any traction.
So we've just got the flat fence on our side. And not an easy fence. And she put up lighting on her fence, so there's strings of lights above it as well.
There's a lot of obstacles.
Challenging fence.
There's a lot of obstacles.
Probably 6 feet tall. It's taller than us. Yeah, you can't see over
7? Is that normal? 6? It's taller than us, I'll tell you that.
Taller than us.
So anyways, she's got a couple plans. Her first one is to put a chair from our yard over to her yard.
The first thing she did is
can land on that chair.
She was very optimistic, and then she was thinking through her landing, which is smart. You've got to do that. So the first thing she did was huck a chair over the fence. Which is
that did not land as she hoped.
Now, Melissa, rightfully, because you didn't want to watch her do this because
I was giving her space.
You needed to give her some space.
She's like, "I'll figure it out. Thanks."
Right, because it's not easy for any non-child to hop a fence. So she hucks the chair over, and it falls. It falls. It does not land.
Now she has another obstacle. A chair in her yard.
A tipped over chair. You're like, well, now you can't jump there. That's landing on a fallen chair is worse than landing on the ground. So, and then she puts a chair up against our fence, right? To then see.
But that's tippy. And, she has 3 points of entry, and she's kind of reviewing all 3.
Because we have a ladder
and
a step ladder.
And 3 places.
Yeah.
She tells me that she almost got through her bathroom window. Almost.
Right. Tiny window.
But I was
very
like,
small window.
That was my third choice.
Right.
I presented what I thought was the best option, and then I left so she could have her space.
What was your best?
Which would be the very back of our yard.
Oh,
entry, because it's the flattest.
But via which way of getting up?
Kind of a foot in the corner.
Okay.
You know?
A climb. Like an old-fashioned climb.
Yeah. And then I said, let me get on tennis shoes. At this point, she's like, I can't get over. And I'm like, let me get on tennis shoes.
She waved the white flag.
So I put on tennis shoes.
I'm
You're
inside.
still in the shower.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I assess it, and I'm like, I want to do it because I don't want to. Dustin has, this herniated disc. And then I decide I need you to give me a boost.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can, spot me, and then I can do it.
Would love to give you a boost.
I don't want my neighbor to give me a boost.
Right.
So then you come out and you just hop the fence while we're discussing all this.
Because
you saved the day.
It was a dream come true. It was.
If you know our children and Dustin, they have climbed everything.
I've waited
since infancy.
I waited for this my whole life. To not only climb a fence with permission, but with endorsement. Now, remember my apprehension.
The dogs.
The dogs.
Yeah.
Her dogs are very friendly.
Mm-hmm. Big dogs.
I have dog-related trauma.
Yes.
We've discussed this before. When I was 5 years old, a Great Dane bit me in the face. I'm not scared of dogs. I don't feel comfortable around dogs.
Yeah.
There's nothing around me.
Nor should you.
Yeah, no. It'd be weird if I did. Yeah, nothing.
Bite me again.
Yeah, almost take my eye out again.
Yeah.
At a formative age. So I don't feel super comfortable around dogs. And that was my one. And so she's like, oh, I can calm them. Now.
So she goes to the front of the house and talks to the dog.
Right. But I have to enter her house. I was like, this is why you have a dog. Like,
yeah, our sons had to do this before.
I was like, if this dog doesn't bite me now, it's a bad dog. It's supposed to bite me now.
I know. And she is too. And they're pretty wild.
They were really
when
nice.
she's not around, they lose it. But they're really calm with her.
Yeah.
When I have to go feed them,
That's great.
Yeah.
I did it. I came in, I climbed I did total old man hop. I got nothing to prove. I just want everyone to know. So I used the ladder because the getting up thing, you might as well use it. I don't know why you guys didn't use the ladder.
I don't think I thought through the ladder.
Yeah.
I don't think I offered her the ladder.
Yeah, the ladder is half the battle.
So our ladder is very rickety. I don't want to.
But you lean it against the fence. Yeah, it's this was.
Still, I'm offering this to someone else as like a viable option. And it's like a half option.
The move is, here are your tools. Use them as you see fit. But I will say the real issue of a fence like that, and especially at our age, the reason that it's easy to hop a fence when you're a kid is it's only half the job because you just jump down. You reach the top of the fence. But as an adult, you climb down. There's no jumping down, and that's the challenge of like holding your weight as you shake down. Huh?
Did you climb down?
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
assumed
Yeah.
you just jumped.
No, gosh, no. That's like 7 feet.
I know. I wish I could have watched you do it.
Yeah, I have bad knees and I have a herniated disc and a whole thing.
I know.
It hurts. It probably
That's
wouldn't.
why I put on tennis shoes.
It probably wouldn't like injure me, but the impact would hurt. I'm 180 pounds falling from 7 feet. It's gonna on old bones.
I know.
So yeah, I did the thing where I climbed. I kind of had to like duck under the lights, kind of slide through the little gap, and then just kind of like shimmied over with the one leg, and then held it with my two hands, and then just kind of slid down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So not a climb down, but whew, what a challenge. What a day.
I
what
know.
A special day.
But that's the kind of stuff that happens on playgrounds, though.
All the time.
If you follow your kids and then in front of complete strangers, you have to like go down a fireman pole. Yeah. You're like, oh, hey.
Don't mind me. Here I go. You know, one of my biggest, I mean, there are a lot of annoying people in the world. And perhaps at the top of that list is fitness dad at the playground.
Right. Yeah.
What are you doing? Get a light. Play with your kid and stop doing pull-ups on the trapeze bar. It's not there for that.
Some of them are, though. Some of them are. The new Mission Bay Park is like, work out.
That's a different thing.
And there's a playground. But they're like, you guys don't need to work out.
Could you push your kid on the swing instead
Because
of...
I'm pushing your kid on the swing.
Yeah, exactly. Could you cool it on the calf raises in the corner over there? You're over here doing high knees while I'm telling your kid not to go down the slide because there's a mystery puddle at the bottom. Fitness dad at the park sucks. Listen, I understand that as a parent, you got to get it in when you can get it in. But just don't even take them to the park at that point. Like, I don't know. There's nothing that tells your kid, hey, you're second to me, than when you're at a park working out instead of playing with them. Play with your kid. Play with your kid.
So, do you know that company called Stroller Strides?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, they work out with the strollers.
Yeah.
And if you're at a park when they show up...
Oh, yeah.
There's just all these toddlers crying.
Yeah.
And, like, chasing their moms. Who have the empty stroller.
Yeah. The kid's not in the stroller?
By the end of it. Well, the kids don't want to stay in the stroller.
Oh, that's funny.
By the end of it, it's just a mess of crying children. But, do you?
Listen, at least that to me feels like a modified MOPS where I'm like, okay, you're trying to get
together.
You're trying to get multiple things in here together.
You got to multitask.
There's other kids,
It's just kind of funny to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Call me sexist, but I think it's more weighted. The level of suck is more weighted towards men doing it. Dad's doing it. I give moms a little more grace on it. Personally.
I've never seen a fitness mom at the park.
I've seen them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like,
because even what she's saying, like the stroller stride cruise and the kids are kind of chaos around them.
Yeah.
Like,
I think dads are just more obtrusive about it.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, could you, is there any way you could just like maybe go push your kid on the merry-go-round instead of hanging upside down on the monkey bars and doing sit-ups?
it's worse if kids are going around him.
Yeah.
You've seen that where it's like he's in the way.
He's like, it's my turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, yes.
The bar's not free.
No, sorry, son. I can't play tag with you. I got to go do some wind sprints. I brought this parachute for training. What? You have a parachute here and you're not letting the kid play with it? Did you bring dumbbells?
Box jumps.
It's leg day, son.
I know. Yeah.
Well, people will say, like, you got to put on your oxygen mask first.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought that
It was good. No, I understand the same because we have talked about on this podcast, like in the month of May, getting your calf raises while you're brushing your teeth. But ultimately, okay, this is my stance. It is, if you are going to take the time to be in shape as a parent, my personal stance on that is you have to sacrifice that from you, not from your kid. Like, do it when they're asleep, do it when they're in school, do it when
we had a gym that had childcare.
Do a childcare at the gym type situation, though I don't love that.
Yeah.
As someone who oversaw that, that's never been my favorite. That's when I wrote the dad bod bit, actually, was looking at that. Yeah.
I have a counterpoint. It's the parent on their phone at the park.
Right.
And that gets a lot of like internet shaming, like, get off your phone and be present.
Yeah.
Same thing, like stop working out and, run around the park doing the same fitness level.
You can get an exercise with your kids at that park.
Throwing a frisbee and running.
Yeah.
And the point being, like, you don't know their day. You don't know if they've been on their phone all day. Maybe they just needed a 5-minute break.
Yeah.
I've seen parents reading books in the car. I think like in the 70s, like you didn't even your kid could walk to the park.
Yeah. There was
no expectation that a parent would be at the park.
Yeah, it's changed.
So
yeah, and how'd those kids all turn out?
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we are clearly a generation. We were raised by the generation that was like,
Get out of the house.
you don't need to spend a lot of time with your kids. And then we're the generation's like, I don't know, I really like spending time with my kids. I would have really liked this. I
really wonder what Gen Z is going to do. I wonder how Gen Z is going to parent.
We're helicopter parents, and then our parents were spaceship parents. They're up there orbiting around the moon in a literally different
waving.
atmosphere. They're like, we didn't even know we had a dad. We weren't allowed to talk to him in the living room.
He's up there somewhere.
He's up there somewhere. No.
Benny, you see that star?
Yeah. I mean, every
amazing.
generation of parenting is a reaction to the generation before them.
Uh-huh.
And so and I actually think that parenting has just gotten better over time. Like, I think in American culture, we're figuring out how to parent now. Like, and it keeps getting better. Like, our grandparents had, we are better parents than our grandparents had. So 5-6 generations. I mean, it's crazy. Like,
Well, because
yeah,
they needed to survive
yeah,
and eat.
yeah.
And we have survived and
You know where
eaten,
you know where you
you know?
trace the line is the proximity's dad, the dad's proximity to the child's birth. That's
Sure.
where you can trace the cord back
Yeah.
to the wall. Because back in the day, you're pregnant, cool.
the nurses take you away.
The nurses take you away.
Or
You don't even go to the hospital. It's not even there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the dad delivers the baby.
For a home birth.
The dad goes in further and just makes sure everything's out. We good? Is cool. Did we get it all? Cutting the cord, eating the placenta. That's what good dads do.
You boil it?
A good dad eats the placenta.
They're like, and Dad, do you want to cut the umbilical cord?
No, yeah. Absolutely, I do. With my teeth.
Do you want a job?
Organ meat.
Yeah. Exactly.
We saved a job for you.
Cut up the placenta. Serve that at the baby shower. Come on over, everyone. Meet the baby. Get a taste of mom. We've spread it over some rice. Little placenta stroganoff.
Because I don't want to cook.
I think we just found the episode name. Placenta stroganoff.
That is so good. Those two words together. You're ridiculous.
I know this is self-serving because it's my own joke. Oh.
Oh, God.
Anyways. How was your weekend, Melissa? Anyways. Play with your kid at the
Too
park.
much.
All right. Okay, we didn't cover this on last week's weekend recap because I was out talking about my Wisconsin.
Whereabouts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had we were talking about Wisconsin last week. Have you had spotted cow? It's like you can only get it in Wisconsin. It's a Wisconsin beer.
I've not.
Okay.
I've not.
Swing by our house on the way home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can have one.
Ooh, will do.
They were like, there's Jordan Kasner has this joke about he has a mustache. And he's like, I didn't grow a mustache. I'm not a bad person. And I use that rhythm in my life all the time. And somebody like gave us like a case of spotted cow. And I was like, well, I'm not going to drink this now, but I'm going to bring it home. And I go, I'm not a bad person. Like, I'm not going to just leave this behind. And only one broke on the travel home, which is not bad. Yeah. I've traveled with a lot of booze on the way home because it's in green rooms and stuff. And you're like, wrap it up. I made a mistake in that I put too many bottles in one tote bag. And they broke each other. But lesson learned. You get home with 11 and, a suitcase that smells like beer. It's not that bad, But you spent your,
I had such a busy parenting weekend.
You had a 9-hour volleyball day.
We left at 6:30. Well, we left at 6:40. And we got home at like 4. Yeah.
I mean, that's too much volleyball.
So we were the last game. There was like probably 15 to 20 games happening in this multiplex. We were the last game of the day. Yeah. So, like if you try and single elimination kind of thing, like so you try and win in one set. But then,
right.
then you win, or they get... You don't want the third set to happen, but it always happens.
It always happens.
And because you put in all the other players, and there you are tied 2 sets, and you get the third set.
Like when you're going up against a team that you know is better than your kid's team, you're like, don't put in your bad players for the second set so we win this one. Just stop the pain.
But I will say that we have 9 girls on this team, and they all got a ton of playing time.
Yeah.
Because of this whole day tournament.
Yeah.
And they all got better.
Yeah, and they won.
Which is awesome. So they got a lot of confidence.
My favorite thing about this story that you told me is their regular coach was out, and they have kind of an old school boomer coach. She's very good.
She's really good.
Good volleyball player, very good coach, hard on the kids.
She's been doing this forever.
Has been training them. Yeah. None of these kids could do any volleyball skill a few months ago.
No,
she's been training them really well. She missed this one, and she
missed this tournament.
They had some high school girls fill in for her while she was gone, and they won the tournament. And they're like, I think it's because of the different coaches who were nicer. And you're like, no.
It's just like a 9, 13-year-old girls. Yeah. Like, we like the young coaches. That were nice.
It's the boomer who taught you how to play.
Yeah.
Threw a chair at you if you weren't playing well.
She's not like that.
I know.
But 4 months of training with your coach, and then one tournament win, and you give up on her.
You won because of the old coach.
All the foundations that she set in place for you.
You know who knows how to teach a teenager how to play volleyball? A woman in her 50s who played and has probably raised teenagers.
She did. She ran a league. Yeah.
She ran a league. Yeah. I mean, she was on top of it, man. She's great. She's really, really good. But it's such a kid. It's like it's probably we play better because the new coaches. You're like, no, you had the skills.
You gotta laugh it off.
You gotta laugh it off.
What a group text of teenage girls would say.
Yeah,
I like the younger coaches more.
Of course you do. Of course you do. At what point during that day were you like, I wish I wouldn't encourage my kids to play sports?
Well. A Sunday tournament starts like on Friday when you're like, hey, you guys can't do anything Saturday night. I have to get up at 6. Like my alarm's set for 5:45. I already organized all the food for the tournament with the parents.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nothing late Saturday night. Right. So my our son's watching a movie, I hear him clanging around and all this, and our 9-year-old's in our bed. I'm not having a great night.
No.
But I know I got this early morning. My son and I have established that he is waking up at 9 because our 9-year-old's home.
Adorable thought.
So we have all this negotiating and maneuvering that happens for us, at least. Most of the parents, just one parent was at the tournament the whole day.
Right.
Because most parents have other children or work, just like us, where they got to divide and conquer.
Right.
So it's a whole thing for sure. But, there
was some sandwich drama.
You guys. There's 13 parents on a group text. And we talk about sandwiches for 2 hours.
Yeah. Who's getting the sandwiches? What time?
Oh, Venmo me. Oh, they're out of veggie.
If you're on the fence about having kids, just decide whether or not you want this to be your life.
Here's the menu again. Oh, okay. I've never heard of them. So the sandwiches come, we got, they're not playing well because of those sandwiches. They're too heavy. Yeah. Like, for nationals, I'm going to go to Costco. Yeah, let's do it. We got 3 hotel rooms.
I didn't want this to be our life.
I don't like the chaperone, and I want to be in her room.
This is why as parents, it's good to have dreams that you're still pursuing. So you can still be in this world, but not care too much about it. This is my same theory on sports.
As a sports fan,
as I have become more creatively fulfilled in my job, I have cared less about sports. I still like them. I still celebrate the wins just as high. I don't take the losses, because when they lose now, I go, well, that's your loss, not mine. I don't play for the Seahawks. I like the Seahawks, and I like when they win. But they should be sad when they lose, not me.
It's true.
The owner who spent billions of dollars to have that team and pay for those players, he should be real sad.
The coach.
I have to go get on stage. I have to go do these other things here. So
I know. I think you're right. It's perspective, because Little League just ended. We have a friend who the coach got kicked out of a game, kicked out of the league.
A guy almost fought me this year.
Yeah.
I guess all the parents stopped him. He almost charged the field because I pegged his kid while I was pitching.
Coach pitch.
Hilarious. That's very funny.
So it's good to have perspective and not get too wrapped up in it. They have this Nationals in Irvine. They have a disco night.
Because that's why Orange County exists. For tournaments. Orange County exists solely for youth sports tournaments. I am not convinced that it was built for any other, because it doesn't have culture. It doesn't.
They got the Irvine Spectrum and Disneyland, almost. I mean, that's Anaheim.
And Disneyland is in the worst city of Orange County, right? Anaheim's pretty rough, right? I'm not saying
sure
for me. It's Orange County rough.
It's Orange County rough.
Yeah.
There's other cities